Hello, everybody. Bill Thornton, SoCal Saber. Thank you for stopping by. We're going to talk about my music again. Today's June 21st, the official first day of summer. So I hope you are all having some nice weather wherever you are. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the vinyl albums and music CDs that I listened to this week. Before we get going, let's go down there. Go down there and hit that like button. And if you're watching, and you haven't subscribed so yet, please do so to help the channel grow. Put some comments down there. Make comments about the albums that I'm showing and talking about, or what did you play this week? What is your favorites? And the whole 9 yards. I love to hear from you and get back with you. We opened up the week this week with an oldie but goldie, and it was the 1967 album titled Inside Out. Inside Out Windy by the Association. This goes back a long way. I picked this up in a Whatnot auction. Most of the people on the auction must have been pretty young because they didn't know who the Association were. Being the old man that I am, I did. So I said, this ought to be a nice collection to the collection. Look at that $3.88 price tag on there. This is still in the original shrink. And this was the third album by the American pop band, The Association. They did have an inner with it, but mostly just an advertisement to buy more from Warner Records. So, surprisingly to me, after I listened to it and I heard some songs that I really enjoyed from the old days, and I started to do a little bit of research on this one, that this became one of the top selling LPs of the year in America, peaking at number 8 on the Billboard's top LP chart. Big surprise to me. Big surprise to me. But then I think back on the years, I guess maybe it didn't surprise me. But you got to think much of the album's success was because of the inclusion of the U.S. hits "Windy" and "Never My Love," which reached number 1 and number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, respectively, and were among some of the most played records on AM radio during the late 60s. This is a mixture of vocal harmonies with an electric blend of influence, including folk rock, sunshine pop, psychedelia, and even elements of garage punk. I think that this success was really, really great, considering the pop and rock groups of the late 60s that were out at the time. As for me, it brought back some memories of the times. It is a nice collection piece, but we'll probably not see any more or play in the near future. But I'm glad that I have it. Somebody will get to enjoy it whenever they take over my collection from me. All right. So the next one we're going to look at is a 2025 release, just last month, I believe it was. You saw it on the thumbnail. First time ever on vinyl. I'll show you the hype sticker. I took it off of the album because I like to keep them in the and it says Pink Floyd at Pompeii, and then it gives you the I think it's probably 2025. The legendary performance on vinyl for the first time, remixed by Steve Wilson, includes a poster. All right, so there it is, folks. Live at Pompeii. They performed a typical live set from the era, and there's no audience in the whole Pompeii area except for the filming crew and the recording crew. And it was originally released as a movie in 1979. I have never seen the movie, and I keep forgetting to look it up. I said I was in my mind I was going to look it up and see if I could find it. This is composed. This is composed. What am I going to? It's composed from various live performances. It was a live performance at the lobby, but they did it in sessions. Uh, we got the inners. There's two of them. There is two inners. Then we got, I don't know if I get this open, but this is a full-size poster. Let's skip this. There's still one more. It's a nine panel poster. More than just a movie, an explosive cinema concert. Cool. Cool. Nice when they put this stuff in here, from just like the old days. Okay, let's take a look at the vinyl. And coming in a little different. Of course, I was having a hard time figuring out what was side one, what was side two, what was side three. Okay, there's the label. And then in the back, it's just there. There's no 1, 2, 3s or A, B, C's, and D's on it. So finally, I figured out on the label, there's writing all the way around it. That's the order of the songs. So I got to figure it out and played it. I like it. Yeah, I did like it. This is typical Pink Floyd type music pre Dark Side of the Moon. So you're getting conglomeration of all of the stuff that they had done before Dark Side of the Moon, and maybe some indications of where they were going to go with the Dark Side of the Moon. But anyway, nice listening Pink Floyd music. If you like Pink Floyd, you probably like this one. I don't know if it's out on streaming services or not yet, but you might want to take a look and check it out. Like I said, that was the first time on vinyl. All right, now the next one we got, I picked up. This was a Whatnot addition to the collection. The Live at Pompeii. I got that one from the In Groove in Phoenix. I pre-ordered from them. Okay, the next one we got is a 1973 LP, and it's titled "A Wizard, a Great Star, a True Star," by Todd Rundgren. Now, in the last couple of years, I just got into Rundgren. I missed him when he was out. I don't know why. I kind of liked him. I had one previous album. This is I have two LPs in the collection with another one waiting to come in. This was the fourth studio album by the American musician, and it marked a departure from his previous album, Something Anything, which is the one that's waiting to get in, featuring fewer straightforward pop songs, a development he attributed to his experimentation with psychedelic drugs. At least he's honest about it, huh? Well, anyway, I forget what the name of the first one is that I have in the collection, which I did like Todd Rundgren, and I jumped on this one right away, but I wasn't real happy with it. First of all, I wasn't happy. First, this is a total gapless album. both sides. And so I was thinking, well, this must be a concept album. Okay. And it isn't a concept album. It has 19 tracks. It's nearly 56 minutes of runtime. Made it the longest, one of the longest single LPs to date at that time. It incorporates elements of prog rock, psychedelic rock, show tunes, bubblegum pop, and Philadelphia soul. Reached number 86 on the charts. The band Nazz was founded to go out on tour with this album, and after 2 weeks on the road, the tour was canceled. So anyway, but also, besides being Gapples, I was trying to explain what I didn't like. On side one, I don't know if it's because the album is old or the way it was mixed, but the vocals were mixed too low, and so and the music above it, and so I had a hard time hearing the vocals. And of course, there's no lyric with the chart with them. Side two was better arranged as far as the vocals go, and I liked it a little bit better. But overall, I didn't like the production, and so I most likely won't play it again. But I do have another one in the collection already that I like, and I have another one that's going to come into the collection in the next few weeks or so. Why I say they're not in the collection, I pick them up and then I put them in a stack, and then I pull them out and enter them in. I play it, clean them, I play them, and then put them into the collection. So that was the 1973 album, A Wizard, A True Star by Todd Rundgren. So we're still moving on. Okay, I don't know if you remember a while, but this next album is a 2016 reissue of a 1987 album by the Smiths. I don't know if you remember, I don't know, a while back ago, I had picked up Meat is Murder by the Smiths. And I really wasn't fond of it, and I probably said I won't do it anymore by the Smiths. Well, anyway, after I had done some more research on the Smiths in the meantime, and then I ran across this at my local record shop, Wisecrack Records in Oak Hills, and it was at a really decent price, and so I picked it up, brand new. Louder Than Bombs by the Smiths. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of my first one, Murder Is Meat, but I really did like this one. It is made up primarily of B-sides and songs that didn't make it on the other albums. The mix, I think the mix is very good on this. Is good. It peaked at number 62 on the Billboard's Top 200 chart. Well, I don't think there's any inters, any inners, no inners. Show you the vinyl. Popular demand prompted their British record company, Rough Trade, to issue the album domestically as well. Upon its release in the UK in May of '87, it reached number 38 on the British charts. It was ranked by some at number 2 of their. Some people, when you check the overall rankings, rate the rankings, that some people ranked it as high as their second best. Well, so far, out of the two that I got, this is the best one that I like. This was the 2016 reissue of the 1987 album by the Smiths, Louder Than Bombs. And glad I have them in I gave the Smiths a second edition and got this into the collection. It is a nice addition to the collection. All right, so now we're at the part of the week, which is normally Fridays, and it was this week either. Also, when I'm doing work around the house and I'm listening to CDs. The first one out of the week is number 109. It is the 1991 album by Sting, Soul Cages. I have 1 LP and 2 CDs by Sting in my collection. We got a little flip book here in the middle with lyrics and credits. Oh, this is mostly credits on this page. This one here. And this is a concept album, and it was focused on the death of Sting's father. There was a time after his father passed away that he had a big writer's block. Got it shortly after his father's death in 1987. So this episode lasted for several years until he was able to overcome his affliction by dealing with the death of his father through music. And this was the one that did it, Soul Cages. It's good. It's mellow. That's kind of Sting stuff was kind of mellow. And then also there was a 30th anniversary release in 2021, which includes 13 bonus tracks. You know, I like this album more. I remember more than what I did the first time. And I'm not sure if it's because I saw Sting live or not. You know, I saw him live at the Hollywood Bowl back a few years ago. A friend and I went down, and it was him and Peter Gabriel on tour. And I thought, well, knowing his music, knowing Peter Gabriel's music, I said, this is going to be pretty mellow. But it wasn't. It was one of the best concerts that I have been to. And the reason behind is that, and sometimes, like when I saw Eric Clapton and Elton John, they played different sets or different things. Well, this one here, like when both on one side of the stage was Peter Gabriel and all his backup band and his backup singers. The other side of the stage was Sting and his backup thing. So when we were doing Peter Gabriel songs, Sting's musicians and singers would be doing the backup, and then vice versa. And that really good. And they changed the tempo and of the songs, really upbeat, really great concert. So that's probably why I liked it better this time than I did the first time. All right, because I remember it not being all that well liked by me. This was the 1991 CD Soul Cages by Sting. And then we got number 110, 1991 album by Stevie Ray Vaughan, Double Trouble, The Sky is Crying. I have 3 CDs in my collection by Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I also have an album with him on with Albert King. That's pretty cool. This was the 5th and final studio album with Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble, in it compiling songs recorded through most of their career. This was released 14 months after Vaughan's death in 1990. The album, it says it features 10 previously unreleased tracks recorded between 84 and 89. There's the tracks. Although his mainstream career spanned only 7 years, he's considered one of the most influential musicians in the history of blues music and one of the greatest guitarists of all times. And I totally agree with that. That wasn't mine, but I agree with it. It wasn't mine. What a great one! And he does an instrumental version of one of Jimi Hendrix's songs on here. I believe it's Little Wing. Really cool. But The Sky is Crying. What a great song. The sky was crying the day he died. Big loss. Big loss. So that was The Sky is Crying by Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble from 1991. We're getting close to the end now. Don't forget at the end, after I'm done, I'll tell you which two did I like the most. I like them all, but I like them all to one degree or another. So the last one is the album that's been in the collection for a long time. And it's a 1977 album by Billy Joel, The Stranger. This is the fifth album, studio album by the American singer-songwriter. You know, his previous album, Turnstiles, had sold modestly and peaked low on the U.S. charts, prompting Columbia to consider dropping him if his next release sold poorly. And then along comes the history to show that it did not do poorly. And it spent 6 weeks at number 2 on the Billboard chart This is The Stranger, Billboard chart 200. The Stranger was Joel's critical and commercial breakthrough. 4 singles were released in the U.S., all of which became top 40 hits on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Just the Way You Are, number 3, Moving Out, Anthony's song, and She's Always a Woman, number 17, and Only the Good Die Young, number 24. I enjoyed this one a lot. This one brought back some really cool memories. Now, I said that I have 6 LPs and 2 CDs in the collection by Billy Joel. All of the others came after this one in history. So I can't say whether this was my favorite one or not, because there are some other really good ones that I remember in there, but I haven't listened to them in quite a while. So it would be unfair for me to say that was my favorite one. Okay, what have you thought so far? Put some comments down there. Here we go. This is the two that I got the most enjoyment out of. And I think the one that's probably going to surprise you is, because you know I'm a big Pink Floyd fan, because I have 8 LPs and 12 CDs and a 4 LP box set by Pink Floyd, but I didn't pick them. I picked Louder Than Bombs by the Smiths. I really enjoyed that album. It really stuck with me for the whole week after I listened to it. So, that was pretty cool. So I had to give it some more credit. And then, what can I say? Sky is Crying, Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble. What a great album. What a great performer. So that is it for the week, folks. I hope you all enjoyed this show. And don't forget to leave some comments, hit the like buttons, and do all that good stuff that YouTube wants you to do, and I want you to do. Take care of yourselves out there. Be kind to each other. Stay safe.